Welcome back to Super Mario Bros. Free. We're now in part 3 of Super Mario Bros. Free, released in 1988 for the Nintendo Famicom, later ported to the NES in 1990. I can't believe it took that long. I think there was like a shortage of cartridges or something, cartridge materials, because it's still really interesting to me how cartridges, despite being the objectively inferior medium, at least when it comes to, storage space, were the more expensive ones to produce. By the way, how are we supposed to get up here without the P-Wing? Huh. Maybe there's an alternate path that I'm not aware of, or maybe there's some other method to get up there, but it doesn't matter because I do have the P-Wing, so I can just get there really easily. Oh my god, he's dropping his babies on me. What an absolute prat. Or, well, I guess it'd be her, but we all know that video game characters don't have any particular assignment. We just kind of go, well, it's a video game. Doesn't really matter. You gotta be careful how you say that. Ooh, look at that. My fireballs have a slightly different palette compared to the fireballs that come out of the piranha plants. That's a very interesting detail. What the hell is he throwing at me? Those aren't spinies. What? Has he upgraded his ammunition? What a bastard. Also, I really need to not reload my state every time I even make a subtle mistake. Like, I should really reserve that for just dying. I do like how, because the game runs at 60 FPS, and maybe this shouldn't happen because it's at 60 FPS, but when Mario runs at full speed, there's almost like the smearing effect that happens on his feet. That's really weird. Why did we start on top of the pipe? You think we come out of it? Oh my fucking god, it's Big Bertha, but fortunately she only moves in... Is that what she's called? Oh my god, she spits out the tiny ones. What the fuck? What's up with all these creatures using their children as ammunition? That's fucked up. You know what I just realized is also kind of weird and no one's really thought about? Well, because the game in question that the thing came from didn't really leave many people with things to talk about, even though I really liked it when it came out, and I still occasionally go back to it. But the Wispons, right? They... if you think about it, they're really weird because they literally use live ammunition. Like, they absorb the wisps to use them as weaponry, as ammunition. That is actually kind of messed up. They're sacrificing their... I mean, granted, they probably don't care. We shouldn't really look into it. It's a fucking kid's platformer, but still, it's like... Think about it for a second. They're dying for our cause. That's amazing. Also, when you play Sonic Frontiers, you realize how similar some of the music is. Like, there's this one Green Hill themed level that has a melody that's damn near identical to... Well, I can't sing it over this music. It's confusing me harmonically, arg. But... It's like... Do, 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 do. You know, it's very similar melody to Park Avenue. Tomoya Otani, I see what you're doing there, you bastard. You can't just steal your own melodies. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 9 levels? I thought that every world had only 5. Now we got fucking 9. Well, granted, they're very short. I mean, this game has really short levels, but I can get away with it because they're all about little... It's all about the bigger picture here and about the grander adventure. It's not that big of a problem if the levels are individually short, you know? Especially when, they provide a very good focused challenge. Every level of this game is very well designed. At least so far, I'd say. Why is there a random ice block here? Huh, that's interesting. Dunk. Oh, because it's unbreakable. Okay, gotta be real careful with this jump. There you go. Oh man, if only I had a Koopa shell. Mario slightly shifts when he crouches like that, which makes it a little bit awkward when he, because it looks like the sprite isn't aligned perfectly. Although I think it technically is. I'm not sure. Doesn't really matter that much. That is something we lost when games started to have better animation quality, because now characters have these, anticipation and overshoot and, what would you call them, undershoot frames as well. Frames in between the main key poses, which basically means that you can't do this anymore. Because there's so much... basically latency between the different poses. I get that they do that to make the game appear much smoother and more polished, but it's something we've lost. What the fuck? Oh, now it's not scrolling, and all of a sudden the screen scrolls way faster. Alright, here we go. Oh no, I sure hope I don't step on the frickin', what's his name? Whoa, I've never seen these textures before. Oh my god. If I were any younger, I would say, that's Fishy Boopkins. Actually, here's the thing. I may be a bit of an old fuck at this point, but actually, that is the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, what am I talking about? I was a kid when SMG4 was making his best videos. In fact, the ones before Fishy Boopkins was even a thing, you know? I'm talking like the really early days. Well, when I say that, I can't say that I know exactly what I'm talking of. The videos that I grew up on were his like Mario in Portal or Mario in GTA, I think. Basically it was long before he started to franchise his stuff, essentially. You know, where he did like Meta Runner, and then he did Sunset what was it called? The one that focused on the ink chick or whatever, the Splatoon character that he basically stole and then turned into an OC and somehow got away with that legally because the character looks different enough now. I don't fucking know. Why did we do that? Hold on. I don't want to... Oh, how am I going to do this? Oh, well, I'm just going to step on this dude's face. I'm going to step on your toes, you bastard. There we go. He's dead. And now we get a little... What do we get? Oh, a hammer. Wait, is that a hammer suit or is it a hammer item? I think it's the hammer item. The hammer suit looks different. Wow, there's so many castles. This game is freaking ambitious. This game is expansive. I mean, I've already talked about how ambitious it is. Please don't make this a fucking maze. I'm gonna die if it's a maze. Just make it a nice linear stage where I don't have to think too much about where I'm going, and instead I have to think about... See, that's the thing. I don't mind a game making me think, but I want the thinking that I'm doing being, how do I do this best? Not, what do I do? You know, I don't want to have to think about, oh, fuck, okay, now where do I go? It's more so, okay, I know where to go. How do I go through that section as well, as smoothly, as quickly, as not taking damagely as I can? You know what I mean? I do love that effect, though. The way the boos come out like that, that looks so fucking cool. You know? That must have been a real pain in the ass to make it, like, seamless with the way that the outline kind of disappears in that section. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually a really simple effect and... Oh, thank God, I was easy. Maybe it was actually a really simple effect and they just did it. Believe it or not, some of the coolest effects are actually, like, really simple ones that just seem impressive because of how clever they are, but not necessarily because of how complicated they are. Why does he have wings now? Huh. Is that... I was gonna say, I guess he had some Red Bull, but is that still a thing? You know, because remember those Red Bull ads? Do they still market it that way? They had really good animation, actually. I really liked them for that. You know, back when ads were genuinely entertaining and were, like, basically cartoons that you actually wanted to watch? You didn't even care about the actual product involved? Like, I've never had Red Bull in my whole fucking life, but still. Or remember the Welkins coffee? Okay, this one's actually offset, if I remember correctly, which means I have to hit it one prior. So hit it on the mushroom. Right? Right? Was I right about that? Oh, you dick. That's fine, whatever. I'm not gonna reload just for that. I'm not that petty. I'm very petty, but I'm not that petty. Alright. Oh god, no. There's the fucking big dickhead again. Okay, we're just gonna run through the stage as quickly as we can. Alright, let's go Sonic mode. Do-do-do-do-do. Well, if we were going Sonic mode, we would have to be running at a different frame rate. Well, actually, no. Okay, hold on. Let me think about this for a second. Because obviously blast processing, so the first few Sonic games ran at 60 no problem. In fact, even 3D Blast did. Because the thing about 3D Blast is it was all an illusion, and the more of a game is an illusion in its graphics, the better it runs generally. That's why, again, games that were legitimately, like racing games on the Super Nintendo, that were legitimately 3D ran like complete garbage and were just basically unplayable. Whereas games on the Super Nintendo that were basically really well done illusions of 3D, like the Top Gear games, for example, or even F-Zero, that's when they ran really well, because why wouldn't they? They're just loading things that they already know how to load well, and that being... Can you stop? There you go. That being 2D sprites. You know, these systems can do that quite effortlessly. So, oh my god, it's such a evil challenge. Okay, I have to do this, and hit the... Wow, okay. I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to do this, like, without constantly resetting. Well, I mean, I know one way, and that would be to get good, but, I don't care. I just want to play the game and have a good time. There you go. There's the smearing I was talking about on Mario's feet. But still, so these systems are good at loading 2D sprites, so when you make them do more than that, they kind of shit themselves. And, you know, I think I realized something, actually, about, the Sega Saturn. Or, no, more so, actually, the Dreamcast. And actually, it's not even so much about those individual systems. it's about game systems as a whole during the time when 3D was becoming the new big thing, or just when technology was really moving forward. Because nowadays it's more acceptable, but you really never want a game that you release early on in the system's lifespan to be something that potentially could have been done on the last system. And I feel like that was actually a pretty big issue, which ironically enough ended up helping out a lot of games. Well, here, what do I mean? So you know how some games on, let's say, the N64 that weren't fully 3D or even were just straight up fully 2D games got a little bit of flack because, oh, they weren't doing the hot new thing, they weren't fully 3D, yet they've aged way better than a lot of games that were. Or even something like Doom 64, for example, which I've actually grown to like quite a bit. I've come to understand the game. It's not quite as complicated as I once thought. I'm able to solve the puzzles quite easily. And with that game, I feel like it's aged so much better than Hexen as well. Hexen 64. Basically the games that weren't pushing 3D too heavily. Don't get me wrong, it's not even because of the frame rate or controls. For example, Turok 2, I don't consider that game unplayable on original N64 hardware, you know, because obviously you got the remakes and stuff. But those games aren't unplayable because of that, because of the controls or the frame rate. They're unplayable because of the goddamn FOV. It's absolutely... What the hell do I do at this point? Because clearly the bombs are not capable of destroying that. Am I just screwed? What do I do? Do I have to just run out of time? I mean, I'll do that. I'll hit the fast forward button, well, after I configure it. Or, I mean, let's just go back to before I messed up, I guess? Come on, how do I... Oh, fuck you. No, that doesn't count. I mean, it does count, but still, come on, break the thing. Why isn't he breaking it? What am I supposed to do? I can't interact. Well, obviously I can spawn a mushroom. Maybe I have to bounce up, or... Because these guys, they can't destroy these blocks, even though they kind of look like they might be able to. They can't. They can also not destroy... What am I supposed to do with this? Maybe I have to wait at just the right time, and then... Let's try that. Let's try timing it super precisely. Let's go like this, and... No, fucked it up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now. Too early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now. I don't think that's what you're supposed to do. Oh, for fuck's sake, I was supposed to separately, I was supposed to let go of the run button and then hit it again separately, and that's how you get this to... Oh my god. How much is that my fault? I'm not sure. You know, I guess it is my fault for just constantly holding down the run button indiscriminately, just non-stop holding it down. I don't think Mario was supposed to be... Okay, I guess I'm holding this block now. It's weird hearing this music in a water level, considering that this isn't the water music. Where am I even going right now? Oh, I'm going forward, I assume. I have to go into the pipe. Of course that's what I have to do, except I'm probably not gonna... Yeah, I can't make it like that. I'm gonna have to come back around. So yeah, that's just an interesting... For example, there's a lot of spaceship shooters on the Dreamcast, which could have been done on the Saturn. And the ones on the Saturn, which also could have been done on the PlayStation, could have also been done to a similar extent, not as close, but still to a similar extent to Super Nintendo, on the Super Nintendo and the Neo Geo and the Genesis. Now, when it comes to that particular genre, you actually can notice a pretty significant difference in visual quality between the 4th and 5th generation. Absolutely. Yeah, we're not gonna... Oh my god, he's what the fuck even is that thing? What is that hat? But still... And as Classic Game Room all those years ago talked about with Nightmare Creatures 2, I believe, on the Dreamcast, that is genuinely a problem when you port games without really improving them that much to the more powerful hardware. Like, because nowadays we care a lot more about resolution and frame rates and stuff, so we're okay with a game being re-released with minimal improvements other than just it runs way smoother, looks way sharper. And that's cool. That's fine, actually. It's especially good for people who don't care to invest in PCs, which can just do it anyway. They can just run the games better as it is. Which is the funny thing about PC games, how they kind of just by default age well because you can play them at whatever resolution regardless. And I know emulators can do that too. But as of late, I've kind of been backing off on that, which I find really ironic. Isn't it funny how, like, when you gain access to the thing you've always wanted and then you kind of don't want it anymore, or you're not as interested? Like, because when I was a kid, obviously, you know, and then I eventually, years later, discovered emulation and also discovered what a resolution even is. And then even when I got my other laptop, which wasn't even that good to begin with, and I just dreamed of playing games at way higher resolutions and frame rates. And now I can, and I'm like, oh, cool, let me just play Donkey Kong 64 at 320 by 240 because fuck it. You know, I don't know. I think it's because I respect the original look, or because sometimes it just looks a little uncanny when you do it that way. Oh, come on. How the fuck did that count as a hit? Okay, there you go. Hit them. Oh, well, actually, I'm going to have to avoid these these rings. Oh, motherfucker. Okay, let's try this again. You dumb bitch. Die. There you go. I don't even know what her name was. No, honestly, what the hell was this chick's name again? I don't remember. What was the name of this particular Zeddy? Of course. No. What was it called? Bowser's kid. I don't know. They had a name, didn't they? They had like an actual name in the series. Not the Koopalings. Yeah, of course. Cool animation. Oh, pause. There's that PC gamer instinct again kicking in where I mash the enter key even though enter pauses instead of doing what it's supposed to. Whatever. Oh my god, there you go. It's Mario, but with a mullet. Oh, thank heavens. I'm back to my old self. Why? OID self. Someone fucked up right there. Or maybe it's just the way the game renders that particular syllable. Anyway. Oh, the white block contains magic powers that will enable you to defeat your enemies. I haven't closed the... Shut up. Whoa. We're in World 4 now, which we're going to be tackling in Part 4 of Super Mario Bros. 4. Fuck 4. It's funny, actually, because Mario World was supposed to be called Mario 4. Like, in Japan, it's actually called Super Mario Bros. 4 Mario World. Whatever, it's just a subtitle. Look at those ice flowers. I'm pretty sure they only look like that because of the limited palette, but that looks so cool. It almost made me kind of wish that they kept it that way. Regardless, I'm going to see you guys in Part 4 of Super Mario Bros. Free. See you guys then.